Hey everybody, it's Rich and I am back for my second installment of B Beverages. Thank you to Laura and Sarah for allowing me to do this again. Tonight I am going to be making an old fashioned. So happy Friday and let's get started. Way back in like 2008, I was a regular on Saturdays during the day at a place called the Bar in Dearborn when I lived there. And my bartender, the magnificent Kevin Brace, decided one day he was going to dust off the cocktail cookbook. And he asked, let's make old fashions. And we said, all right, we'd never had an old fashioned, but we knew it was simple. So with a few ingredients, he concocted it up, and I'm going to make, by the technique, pretty close to what he made with a couple little alterations here. So basically what we're working with is Kentucky bourbon, bitters, ice, a garnish of an orange or lemon. I have a orange here, and we're going to use some sugar. Back at the bar, we use a careful measure of 1 sugar packet. So that's what we're going to do tonight. So that is where we will start. We're going to muddle the sugar with the bitters, and we're going to add our bourbon. While I do that, we're going to have a little lesson on bourbon real quick. I'm real partial about my bourbon. There are certain bourbons that I think make good cocktails, and there are some certain bourbons that I think you drink straight. Sidebar here. So we're going to add about 2 or 3 just glugs of the Angostura bitters, classic bitters. You're welcome to use other kinds of bitters, but this is time tested and tried. Nothing wrong with it. So just a couple glugs there. And we're going to muddle that and just mash up that sugar in there real good. Back to bourbon. Bourbon is huge now. There's a lot of different bourbons. You can spend a lot on bourbon. You can spend a little on bourbon. This type of cocktail, in my opinion, showcases the ability to use cost-effective bourbons. So separate your expensive stuff. Your Blantons, something rare, something barrel-proof or very strong. A cocktail like this is going to make good use of kind of budget bourbons, 25 to 40 bucks. Something more like these. Buffalo Trace, some cheap stuff like Barton, a Flatboat, a regular blend. We're talking 90 proof here. And one other thing that I like to use is a wheated bourbon. So I have Weller bourbon here. This is a 45%, 90 proof. It's going to be perfect. Wheated bourbons are a little smoother. There's no rye in the mash bill here, so it's going to take some of that spice away. And it's going to replace it with like a smooth character in the bourbon. If you are looking at a store for wheated bourbons, we're going to roll with Larceny or Maker's Mark. Very widespread, easy to find, and very cost effective. If you can find this, it might be pricey, but don't pay too much for it because it really should only be about 40 bucks. So I've got my sugar and bitters mixed, and I've got some ice in here. Real quick, I'm going to rim this glass with a little piece of orange peel just to get a little bit more citrus vibe in there. I'm also going to garnish with an orange when I'm done here. So we've got a rimmed glass there. And I think it normally calls for about 2 ounces. I just like to eye these up. Make it look good. I've got some nice clear ice in there. I'm going to add a little bit more. And then we are going to just give it a good little glug there. So this ice is kind of peeking out up on top there. We are going to garnish here with a Luxardo cherry because I don't have any maraschino cherries, but you can certainly use one of those. Luxardos are premium and they are dark and mysterious. And then we are going to add a garnish of orange here. And that's a pretty looking drink right there. And nice, good color. We'll give it one more little stir. And that should be it. That is a classic old fashioned. So, cheers. Happy Friday.